After a whole decade since its peak, I wanted to find out if a Generation 6 inspired Pokemon team could still dominate in Generation 9 with the addition of an unlikely catalyst in Ursaring? Generation 6 was one of the most exciting metagames ever in Pokemon, and now many familiar pillars of the Generation 6 metagame have returned with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's second DLC, the Indigo Disc. For those that don't know, Pokemon Draft League is a counter-team format where a set of coaches draft from a pool of Pokemon and face off against each other in weekly battles. I started playing this format in Generation 6 when it was created, and the Miami Donphans and I will be joining Season 2 of the SPL, which is a legacy draft league filled with other OG creators like PokeAimMD, Shady Penguin, Numb Nexus, and Hayden. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce you to the newest Miami Donphans roster. With my first pick, I took Latios, aka Elon Musk. Latios was the best Dragon-type Pokemon in Generation 6. With a base 110 speed and 130 special attack, it was outspeeding and decimating opposing teams. It got a huge buff in Generation 9 with its signature move Luster Purge going from base 70 to base 95 power while keeping the 50% chance to drop the opponent's special defense stat. Latios also gained a pivoting option with the move Flip Turn and got a new move for breaking walls called Psychic Noise, which prevents the opponent from healing, giving Latios a way to cripple walls other than relying on Trick. With my second pick, I decided to pick up one of the best Gen 6 offensive steel types in Excadrill, aka Ex-Boyfriend, or the shiny ex-girlfriend. Excadrill has access to Mold Breaker Earthquakes to hit Levitators and Sand Rush to outspeed any opposing Pokemon in the sand. Excadrill was the perfect physical breaker to pair with Latios, as well as a reliable Rapid Spinner. In Gen 9, Drill got Rock Blast, which when paired with the loaded dice is a much stronger and more accurate Rock-type move than Stone Edge. Without a doubt, Clefable was the absolute top-tier Fairy-type Pokemon from the Generation 6 metagame. It boasts one of the greatest move pools of all time, getting almost every type of coverage move. It's a reliable Wish Passer, and with the ability Magic Guard, it's a Fairy type that is able to avoid sand damage if I end up deciding to draft that. It also got access to the new move Alluring Voice, which confuses a target Pokemon if it boosted its stats on the same turn. We're gonna call her Pink Matter. Unfortunately, the best Sand Rush dog Pokemon died in Stoutland. But he has been reincarnated in our number 4 overall pick, Houndstone. Houndstone is a powerful sand sweeper with access to moves like Poltergeist, Body Press, and Priority Shadow Sneak. It's also a great support Pokemon outside of the sand with its fluffy ability and moves like Will-O-Wisp, Roar, Trick, and Destiny Bond. Houndstone is the first Terra Captain on the team, and the Terra types I chose are Ghost for powerful Poltergeist and Shadow Sneaks, Fairy for defense, and Fighting for that stab Body Press. This one is for Wiki. With our 5th pick, the Miami Donphans needed to make a splash, and we got just the Pokemon for that in Tentacruel, aka KY Jellyfish. Tentacruel is another reliable Rapid Spinner outside of Excadrill, as well as a Toxic Spike Absorber and Setter, which also gives us our second knockoff Pokemon after Clefable. Tentacruel is another Gen 6 staple that got a huge buff in the move Flip Turn, which now gives it momentum. The best Sticky Web setter of Generation 6 was without a doubt Galvantula, but he was on vacation in Toronto, so I decided to recruit his Alolan cousin Vikavolt, aka Plug Me In, with our 6th pick. Vikavolt is a powerful special breaker with a base 145 special attack stat. It has great momentum in Volt Switch and Baton Pass, and if it needs to break a special wall, it also has access to the new physical electric move, Supercell Slam. Vikavolt is our second Terra Captain, and the Terra typings that I selected are Terra Electric for 0 weaknesses with the Levitate ability and boosted power, Terra Steel to give us a bulky Steel type outside of Excadrill, and Water to give us a bulky Water type that can easily 1v1 other bulky Water types. Now for our 7th pick, let me tell you about one of my favorite childhood games, The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. The Skull Kid was recently introduced in Generation 9, but since it's from one of my favorite childhood games, I decided to give it a pass onto this throwback team. Ogerpon, aka Majora, gets access to Spikes, U-Turn, Knockoff, Trailblaze, and Swords Dance, along with a plethora of other moves. Because I drafted the Mask Off form of Ogerpon, I'm actually able to equip it with any item I want on a week-to-week basis, and bring the ability Defiant to deter opposing sticky webs from my opponents. Gummy Bear. Now, you might remember at the start of the video I told you about a featured Pokemon on this team, and that is Ursaring, aka Gummy Bear. Ursaring got a huge buff in Generation 9 with the release of its evolution Ursaluna, which now allows it to hold the item Eviolite. Ursaring is a Pokemon with the base stat total of 500 and already had respectable bulk. But with this new buff, it is an especially bulky wall that gets even stronger when you status it, thanks to its abilities Guts and Quick Feet. Now, we couldn't possibly have a top-tier Generation 6 team without our next pick, Talonflame. I decided to take Talonflame because of its pressure ability. Similar to Gen 6, it gets powerful Brave Birds, Flare Blitzes, along with Acrobatics, Dual Wing Beat, Sky Attack, and U-Turn for momentum. Talonflame is also capable of running more defensive sets with access to Roost, Will-O-Wisp, and the ability Flame Body. Shout out to the legendary bird spam of Generation 6. With the 10th pick, I decided to get Mienshau's baby brother, Mienfoo. Now, you might think the Foo is a weak pick, but I assure you it is not. Its Reckless boosted high jump kicks pack a powerful punch, and it is a capable setup sweeper with Trailblaze and Swords Dance sets. The real value of the Foo lies in its ability Regenerator and its item Eviolite. The combination of a bulky Regenerator Mon with a slow U-turn or Baton Pass to get into Latios or Excadrill really helps activate the threats on this team. The Foo is also our third and final Terra Captain. I decided to go with Terra Fighting for the sweeping potential, Terra Fairy to help bait in Steel types for Excadrill or to come in on Dragons for Latios, and Terra Steel for general defensive utility. And with the final pick in our draft, I selected a Generation 6 staple that was widely regarded as the best sand setter of its time, Tyranitar, the top G-Tar. Unfortunately, in Generation 9, Tyranitar lost the move Pursuit, but it gained access to the moves Knockoff, Body Press, and even Loaded Dice Rock Blast. Tyranitar was really the Pokemon that unlocked another level to this team with Sand Rush on both Excadrill and Houndstone. This Pokemon has historically been one of the greatest Pokemon ever in the game, and I am looking forward to proving it is still elite in Generation 9. I really hope you like this throwback team inspired by the OG Gen 6 meta back when Draft League first began. I really enjoyed making it, so please let me know in the comment section below who your favorite throwback member on the team is, and who your favorite OG Draft League player is. Thank you for subscribing and leaving a like on the video as well. I'll see you in Week 1. Roll out.